All right. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, and welcome into Thursday Night Gridiron on the Sports Insanity Network YouTube page. I'm Mike Rifkin, joined by Bill Murphy. Bill, what's going on?
Hey, Mike, how are you? Good to see you.
I'm living the dream.
We're
Hope
back
everyone
after
had
our
a
Thanksgiving break.
right. I hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. We're post Thanksgiving. We're out of food comas. We're preparing to enter more food comas as the holidays come into play.
It is now socially acceptable to put up your Christmas decorations now.
It is also, this pains me. It's also acceptable to play Christmas music now, but you people don't listen to me and you start way too soon. But
I don't start listening to Christmas music until Thanksgiving weekend because just before we get into, because we do have some things we actually have to talk about tonight. My local radio station, they literally started playing Christmas music this year, November 4th.
I'll do you one better. I was at a store early November that already had Christmas decorations up, and I was done. So listen, we got 24 days until jolly old Saint Nick comes down. But
who's been naughty and who's been nice this year?
I don't think I want to answer that. So
I don't think I want you to answer that either.
All right. So before that, we got a lot of football to get to. We're going to preview tonight's Bills-Patriots games. We're also going to talk about college football a little bit, the conference championship games that will start tomorrow, go into Saturday, and we'll have some playoff implication. Let's start with the NFL, though, and we'll start with tonight.
Let's do this.
I have no idea why you just put on your sunglasses, but
because I can.
All right, what? Whatever.
I look like I should be on a Billy Joel album cover right now.
You definitely started the fire. It was always burning since the world's been turning. All right.
Okay, I'll do this without the sunglasses.
Digress. Bills at the Patriots tonight. AFC East showdown. Both teams played exactly 1 week ago on Thanksgiving. The Bills 28-25 win over the Detroit Lions. The New England Patriots lost 33-26 to the Minnesota Vikings. This is a rematch of the AFC wildcard game last year, in a game where, let's just say this, the Bills absolutely obliterated the New England Patriots.
Absolutely.
So
47-17,
I believe.
Yes.
The Bills did not punt in that game. The Bills also did not punt in the second regular season meeting last year. So we'll dive into this now because we got the Bills, we got the Patriots. And I think one of the biggest question marks of the season for me, I know the Patriots are 6-5, but I don't know how they're 6-5.
Me neither, in all honesty. Like, these are not like the golden days Tom Brady, Rob Gronkowski Patriots anymore. Those days are gone with the wind. It's not that team anymore. And knowing that, because, over the past God knows how many years, you always expected the Patriots to finish first in the AFC East, and now they're down in the cellar. Like, if you would tell me, if we were to go back in time last year, if you were to tell me that the Patriots were in last place and the Jets were in the playoff picture, I would look at you and tell you that you're insane.
Well, the Patriots are in the picture too. They're just not on that level. But
you know what I mean.
My thing is this. It's like Mac is. I'll get to Mac in a minute, but he's okay. He's not this savior of the world, and and listen, I actually feel bad for Mac because to be the guy after Tom Brady is probably the hardest thing you had to do for any team. I view it as like Denver, the guy after Peyton Manning. I wouldn't want that gig.
That because I was thinking the same way. They were treating Mac Jones for a while like he was the second coming of Tom Brady. And listen, I can't stand him, Mike. I don't know your views on him, but since you're an AFC East guy, I know you probably couldn't stand Tom Brady. But
it's not that I can't stand Tom Brady. I respect Tom Brady.
No, I do too. Like, I can't stand the guy, but you gotta respect him. And the day he retires, whenever that will be, he should be inducted into Canton. But you know what? I could take in comfort that my team beat him in the Super Bowl twice, so I can take comfort in that thought.
Well, see, you can say that. I can look you in the eye and say, at least my AFC East team was the toughest team he played against. He always struggled with the Dolphins down in Miami and sometimes even up in New England. But I'm at the point where I wish he would have retired after the Super Bowl when he went with the Bucs, but that's a whole nother conversation. My thing on Mac is he entered a situation that was very difficult.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think last year he was good. I don't think he was great or sensational
because last year of the rookie quarterbacks that were drafted, him, Trevor Lawrence, and Zach Wilson, I think of those three, I think he did the best.
Well, he did, but here's why he did the best. And Robert Saleh was a first-year coach.
Check.
Urban Meyer, as much as we could despise him or had no idea what he was doing, but also first-time NFL head coach. Mac got the luck, because I'm going to call it the ability to be coached by a coach and an offensive coordinator who had worked well together for a long time when it came to Bill Belichick and Josh McDaniels. So it was a really good situation for Mac. This year, at times he's played really well, at times he hasn't, and that's fine. Young quarterbacks will struggle. I'm not going to dispute that. The reason I don't understand the Patriots is I hate their skilled position players. I hate their wide receiving core. I hate their tight end room. I can't even say I hate the running backs because I think Ramondre Stevenson and Damian Harris are actually pretty good. But Mac's got nothing. Like, his best receiver is Jacoby Myers. You know what he's known for? He's in the Jacoby and Jacoby Law commercials. That's what Jacoby Myers is known for. Just look at the AFC East as a whole right now. Josh Allen, the Bills believed in Josh Allen. They got him Stephon Diggs. The New York Jets have done more for Zach Wilson in a year and a half than they ever did for Sam Darnold. And the Miami Dolphins said to Tua Tagovailoa, you know what? We believe in you. We have a head coach who believes in you. You don't suck like the report on Sunday had come out. We're going to go get you Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. And we're going to create this speed demon of an offense. So, and you see the results. I think with Mac, we can't judge him because he's got absolutely nothing to throw to. Like, the one game New England beat the Bills in last year, they ran for 200-plus yards, and the wind was howling. The Bills couldn't throw the ball down the field. So when the weather wasn't that bad, the Bills obliterated them twice, putting up 80 points combined. So,
exactly. And because if you look at Mac Jones, and I know this is probably tying into everything, Mac Jones is 0-8 when his opponent scored 25 or more points. So keep that fact in mind for a little bit.
By the way, I don't know. I need someone in New England to comment or let us know. Is there a special between Mac Jones and McDonald's when he throws 2 or 3 touchdowns in a game? You get a free Big Mac with you show the ticket stub and you get a free Big Mac. I need that to become a thing.
So what, are you going to go buy a bunch of tickets to Patriot games and go present?
No, but no, I wouldn't do that because I'm actually not a big burger guy, but I think that's just, for me, it just writes itself. Or since Robert Kraft owns the Patriots, we need a Robert Kraft, Mac Jones, Kraft mac and cheese kind of deal to go down. So that's what I'm
You
looking
have big ideas for the greater Massachusetts area, don't you?
Listen, Patriots, you need a guy in marketing. I'm your guy.
Okay, so Rifkin, you're going to become the new Patriots marketing guy.
I might, but
are you going to go wear your Dolphin shirt every chance you get?
You know what? I might.
Just to piss people off.
But, I mean, look, these are two teams, the Bills, who, let's be fair to both these teams. I like New England's defense. They play really good defense and they can run the ball. We've become an NFL where you have to be able to throw the ball and throw the ball down the field. That's something I'm waiting for on Mac Jones. I'm waiting for it to come out, unleash him. We'll wait and see on that. But the Bills have a dude who could unleash it, and it's Josh Allen.
Before we get to Josh Allen, I just want to share some stats with you about Mr. Jones, if that's okay with you, Mike.
Yep.
Mac this season, among 35 qualifying quarterbacks, 2 touchdowns to 6 interceptions, ranked 34. Touchdown percentage, 1.9, ranked 33rd. Interception percentage, 5.8, ranked last. Pass rating, 70.8, rated 34th. So, can we agree, Mac Jones is not the second coming of Tom Brady?
You want to know another stat?
What?
So Mac Jones played in 3 games against the Bills last year. I'm including the playoff games. He threw 4 interceptions.
Yes.
So that's something else to keep in mind here when it comes to Mac Jones. But flip side it to Josh Allen, who he beat up the Patriots last year pretty good. 11 touchdowns in his career against the Patriots. 4 of them came in the 2 regular season games last year. Then he threw 5 in the wild card game where, again, they obliterated the Patriots. But Josh Allen, I have a concern about the elbow because he has not looked the same guy he did earlier in the year. And whether that's the elbow or whether that's defenses kind of reading what the Bills do offensively, I'm not saying you push the panic button because 8-3, you're not pushing a panic button. But I get a little bit concerned here because he's thrown 4 red zone interceptions in his last 5 games. He doesn't look like the guy he did earlier in the year. And to be honest with you, unless he's the guy from earlier in the year, they're not winning a Super Bowl, which is their end goal here.
Yeah. But, and if you look at Josh Allen's, he had 7 interceptions in the last 5 games. And he is now tied most for turnovers in the season with 14. So, yeah, with Josh Allen, don't get me wrong, dude, I love Josh Allen.
Yeah.
But this isn't the Josh Allen we've been seeing lately. He's slowing down. I don't want to say slowing down, but his elbow injury has really...
Yeah. And some of us need him to pick it up for their fantasy team.
Is that a person who's sitting right across from me right now?
I will not confirm nor deny.
All right, folks, take notes. Mike Rifkin has Josh Allen on his fantasy team, so we all hate him now.
I plead that's fine. Bills fans can hate me. Bills fans can hate me. From now until doomsday, Bills fans can hate me. That's fine.
So you're okay with Bills fans hating you?
listen, Bills fans. I went to school in Western New York somewhat. I don't hate Josh Allen. I don't have an issue with him, but I'd be warned certain people if I take Josh Allen and he struggles, it's on me, and I don't regret it.
And
No regrets here, but that's Josh Allen. But another note this game, Stephon Diggs, 4 games against the New England Patriots in his career as a Bill, 4 touchdowns. So he averages a touchdown per game against the New England Patriot defense. So Stephon says to Bill Belichick, "Hey, Bill, can you Diggs it?" So
does he dig it, Mike?
I don't think. I've got to be honest with you. I don't know what Belichick digs because he's never happy.
He really isn't.
Like, and listen,
the guy's won what, 5, 6 Super Bowls?
6, yeah. He's won 6, and he won a couple he won at least one as the Giants DC.
2. So he has 8.
Yeah. So, and listen, again, you'll never hear me say a bad word about Bill Belichick. I think not only is he the greatest coach of all time, I think you can make the case he's the best coach in any of the 4 major sports of all time.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, I have so much respect for him and what he's done as a head coach. So, but to do what they've done the last 2 meetings against the Patriots, it says something. And excuse me, but what my point was, as I bring it back to Mac Jones, like I would, as a Dolphin fan, I would hate this, but New England needs to go get Mac Jones, a guy who can be his Stephon Diggs, can be his Tyreek Hill, to be, his go-to guy, and don't rely on the Kendrick Bournes, the Nelson Aguilars, the guy from the Jacoby and Jacoby commercials. So go out and listen. This is for me. This is the biggest gripe I have with the Patriots. Like, if you get him a guy, and I'm not saying those guys don't grow on trees, but when you know of an availability, just say, hey, let's take that shot. Like, let's go back to the trade deadline. The Jaguars said, you know what, to the Atlanta Falcons, we'll take on Calvin Ridley. Actually, timeout. We'll gamble on Calvin Ridley. Mm-hmm. And they will. And then once they get Calvin Ridley back next year, Trevor Lawrence is going to have a go-to guy because Calvin Ridley is a very good wide receiver. So
what you're saying is they need to set Mac Jones up with more weapons.
Right. And just that's our way of evaluating. And that's
like how the Dolphins, you said, how they got Tyreek Hill in the offseason.
Right. So those are right. That's kind of where I'm at on Mac. And listen, both these teams, playoff hopefuls, the Bills are 8-3. They put Von Miller on IR today. So he'll miss at least 4 games starting tonight. So that's a loss for the Bills defense. But according to reports, Tre'Davious White's going to play a bigger role tonight. So they're getting healthier in some places. They're banged up in a lot of places. So intriguing to see what happens there.
Tre'Davious White is going, that's going to be a big X factor tonight because what are you going to do since you don't have Von Miller?
Well, I think the one guy who really stepped, for me, not even just last week, just this year in general, Ed Oliver's been tremendous for them in the middle. And if he can keep playing at the level he's playing at, you have 2 good enough linebackers with Milano and Edmonds that maybe you don't have to generate by sending 5 or 6. Maybe you could send 1 or 2, and you could win with 4. And it's Ed Oliver, it's whoever. But the Bills defense, they've got quite a few They've got 30 sacks on the season. New England's got 37. Both quarterbacks have been sacked 24 times. So I think a big difference is Josh Allen's fearlessness of running the football. He loves to run with the football.
Oh, he does.
Need to see a little bit more from that from Mac. I don't think we've seen that a lot. So if the Bills generate pressure and they can keep Mac in the pocket, they may get quite a few coverage sacks because these receivers don't break free often. You know, that they're not these go getters. I like Myers. He's good. He's not a one. But Aguilar's the deep guy. But I don't trust these guys.
No.
That's why you could play a lot of them one-on-one.
Yeah.
So.
And plus, Jacoby's too busy on the law commercials, right?
Yeah, he's working on it. The guy's got a freaking law degree, and he's trying to be a football player. I mean, what a guy. All right, so these two teams are in the AFC East, 8-3, 6-5. The Dolphins are really good at I believe they're 9-3. The Jets have a really good record, which begs the question: who's the best team of the three?
I think first I want to say Dolphins are 8-3 as well, by the way.
They are 8-3. They play the Niners on Sunday.
Yeah, that's going to be a good game. But if you're asking me like statistically wise, I'm going to have to say the Miami Dolphins are the best team in the league because even though they are tied with Buffalo, they have the tiebreaker. They have the better divisional record because of the two divisional games, Mike, that the Bills have played this year, they lost both of them.
Yeah, they've lost to the Dolphins and they lost to the Jets.
They lost to the Dolphins and the Jets. So I would say Miami, right now with Josh Allen's, I think can the Bills come back and win the AFC East? I think it's very possible. I think it's very, very possible the Bills can come back and win the AFC East. But right now, I think the Dolphins are the best team in the AFC East right now. But don't count the Bills out. I wouldn't even count the Jets out for God's sakes.
I think it's the Bills, and I think it's the Bills for this reason.
All right.
They are the one team out of these three. I'm not counting New England because I think New England, I know they're 6-5. I think they're a distant fourth right now. I think it's the Bills because they have a track record head coach.
Sean McDermott, who I think is, for my money, top 2 or 3 coach in the league right now. I think he's that good. They have a quarterback who's gone toe to toe with the best and done very well. They have a defense that's really good. They have playmakers on offense. For the Jets and the Dolphins, first time for the head coaches in this position, first time for the quarterbacks in this position. So let's see how they play in these games. Like, you will not hear me say a bad word about Tua Tagovailoa, but I'm not going to judge him off of a game in December or November. I'm putting the whole year into context for him. But let's see him at the end of the how it goes. He's passed every test with flying colors. But, for right now, I still think the Bills are the best team in this division. Just because they've been there, done that. They have experience. I think it can come. I think this is going to come down to the wire. I don't know if
I do too. I think it's down to the wire.
Because the AFC East and the NFC East, here's an interesting fact to impress your friends at holiday parties with. This is the first time in 2008 that both the AFC and NFC East where all teams are 500 or above. So there's an interesting fact to impress your friends at Christmas parties with.
But after tonight, New England will be back to 500. But
I think the Dolphins right now impressive with a first-year head coach with their new head coach this year. They're first in their division. I think Tua's playing well right now with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. I think they could win this division. But like I said, I'm not counting the Bills out. They're still a very good team. You got Josh Allen, but Josh Allen being a little, best word to describe it, I would say loopy.
Josh Allen needs to become like Tim Allen and get some home improvements.
Is it Tool time?
It's Jeff Tool time.
But I wouldn't count Buffalo just because I'm saying Miami. I'm not totally shanking Buffalo.
Yeah, no, totally.
I still think Buffalo can win the AFC East.
Yeah. So, all right, couple of X factors. Let's go one from each team. I kind of gave you the one from the Bills already. Ed Oliver, what he's doing in the middle, that defense is fantastic. And I think both offensive lines are going to be put in play here. As I said, New England 37 sacks on the year, Bills with 30. Both these quarterbacks have been sacked 24 times. So I think whichever defense generates more pressure, that's the defense that'll help their team win this game.
Yeah, I think what's going to be a big reg factor a big X factor for both teams is, I think it's going to be the red zone, because the Bills, yes, their red zone offense has been a little off lately, but their defense has been real. Their red zone defense has been really good. There's 17 red zone touchdowns are tied for fewest with New England and Cincinnati. So, and they're going to have to hold, and, I think then taking advantage of New England's struggles in the red zone as well, because they are ranked second to last at 31st in the league with red zone touchdown efficiency, behind only the Denver Broncos with 9.
We know the dumpster fire that is the Denver Broncos.
Are they even a real team? Like, seriously?
In the words of the legend that is Russell Wilson, Broncos country, let's ride.
Right away. But yeah, I think the red zone offense and defense is going to be an important factor for both teams tonight.
All right, who wins?
In the red zone competition?
No, general. Who wins the game?
Okay, I'm going to say Buffalo wins this game 24-17.
I think the Bills
24-10.
I think the Bills win this game too, because I want the fantasy points of Josh Allen.
Oh, you got to brag again, don't you?
I do. I'm going to go 28-17 Bills. I think the
bet
Bills
our good
find
friend
a way.
Nate Moser is happy to hear you say that, isn't he?
Nah, hope not. Sabres will lose tonight if they're playing. There you go. There's the Moser thing. All right. College football. We have conference championship games this weekend. Fun stuff there. Playoff implications galore. We start with the game Friday night, Utah USC for the Pac-12 title. Earlier this year, Utah beat USC 43-42.
They're playing the Ultimate Fighting Championship now?
I hope so. Dana White presents the winner. All right.
Sorry.
Caleb Williams, who I think is the Heisman front-runner, 438 yards, 5 touchdowns. Jordan Addison, 7 catches, 106 yards, and a touchdown for USC. Jordan Falo had 2 receiving touchdowns for USC. Cameron Riding had 475 yards and 5 touchdowns, 2 passing, 3 touchdowns. Dalton Kincaid, 16. You need Dalton Kincaid in your fantasy lineup for this one. 16 catches, 234 yards, and a touchdown. The Utah defense had 4 sacks. Utah outscored USC 15-7 in the fourth quarter. Now, here's where the playoff implication matters. USC in the latest ranking was number 4. They lose this game, their second loss. They're
They're done.
probably not a playoff team. It just depends on how the committee views Utah. But I really just want Utah to win because I think it'd be fun and it'd create a little bit of chaos.
I'm rooting for Utah too, but I have a more petty reason to do so.
You're a Notre Dame guy, aren't you?
Because I'm a Notre Dame fan and wasn't happy about last week. So,
all right. So that's the Pac-12. Then we got the Big 12 Saturday afternoon. TCU, Kansas State. Earlier in the year, TCU beat Kansas State 38-28. Kansas State actually led that game at one point, 28-10. Will Howard, 13 of 22, 225 yards, 2 touchdowns, and interception. Deuce Vaughn had 83 yards and a touchdown. Max Duggan, who I believe should be in the Heisman conversation, was 17 of 25 for 280 yards and 3 touchdowns. Kendre Miller, 153 yards, 2 touchdowns. Kansas State averaged 5.5 yards per carry, also 2 turnovers. But this should be a fun offensive game. Listen, I love TCU. Give me TCU in the playoff because I think that'd be so much fun.
You're picking TCU?
Everyone loves their Horned Frogs.
Go Horned Frogs.
All right. SEC, we got Georgia and LSU. Here's the thing I'll say on Georgia and LSU. I think regardless of Georgia wins or loses, I think Georgia's still in the playoff.
Yeah, well, it says here, give me 1 second. It says here, and this is according to MSN. Hold on. Okay, here we go. Georgia wins, they're the number 1 seed. If they lose, they'll still make the playoffs, but they will fall behind any undefeated teams. But if Michigan and TCU win, then they could fall to 3rd.
I'm curious because if Georgia loses this game and TCU wins, or TCU wins, is a 1-loss Georgia team better than a 1-loss TCU? I'm very intrigued by that. I don't know how that'll work.
And we were just talking about USC. If USC lose, there's a chance that Ohio State can squeak in.
Okay, listen. We'll talk about this, then we'll go to Michigan, Purdue very quickly. If USC loses, the only team that should replace them is Ohio State. I don't want to hear anything about Grinch St. Nick in Alabama being a playoff team when he lost twice this year. Sorry about that.
You really do not like Nick Saban, do you?
You know what? For me, my biggest beef with him, it's not even the fact that he was the Dolphins coach and he quit and whatever. It's the fact of just because you coach Alabama does not mean you should be in the playoff every single year unless you deserve it. Look, I get it. You lost 2 really close games to Tennessee and LSU. But guess what? You lost. And at the end of the day, it's a 4-team playoff. We haven't expanded it yet. Quit your belly aching. Don't be like, we should be in regardless because we're Alabama. You played Austin Peay 3 weeks ago. Now, if you played Austin Peay in September, I don't have a real issue with that. You scheduled a cupcake later in the year to pad your team's stats. So, Nick, get off your high horse. Let me rephrase it. The high elephant's horse. And have fun playing in a different bowl game. Because let me tell you something. If Alabama makes the playoffs, the committee's going to hear it from me. The committee will hear it. But
you're going to, I just got a weird random question for you, Mike. Who's your college football team?
It's kind of weird. I don't really root for one particular team. I root for a bunch of schools. Like my cousins went to Michigan, so I kind of have to root for Michigan a bit. My sister went to Maryland, so I have to root for Maryland. I've always been enthralled with Miami, so I've always rooted for them as well. So I don't have one particular school. I just have random places that I'll always root for. Oh, and whoever plays Alabama, I will always root against Alabama.
Well, for me, I'm a Notre Dame fan. I'm Irish. I'm Catholic. It's mandatory.
Yeah, so yeah, if you beat Saban, I'm good. All right. Purdue, Michigan in the Big 10 title game.
I think Michigan's winning that game.
I do too. Michigan's run game, although they will not have Blake Corum, he's going to undergo knee surgery, but he had a great year. Michigan's run game averaged 244.5 yards per game. Purdue allows almost 130 yards on the ground per game. Michigan's defense was really good against Ohio State. So my biggest question going into that game was how J.J. McCarthy would play. He played really well. If he plays like he did against Ohio State, Michigan might win Michigan has a very good chance to win the national championship if J.J. McCarthy plays that way.
Well, yeah, who were you going for the Georgia LSU game?
I'm gonna go Georgia because I think Kirby's really smart, and Brian Kelly was terrible with his fake accent, but he also beat Saban.
What if LSU beat Georgia? I think that'd be huge.
It'd be fun. I'm intrigued to see what happens, and then what the committee decides on Sunday, because that's when it'll come out. So we can have fun discussions next week on who got in, how we feel about it, but that'll be fun. But everyone, enjoy the game tonight between the Bills and the Patriots. Check out the website, www.thesportsinsanitynetwork.com, for great blogs, vlogs, planes, trains, and automobiles. Check out all the podcasts, Anchor, Google, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Check out Thursday Night Gridiron and Sunday Sideline Report. Those are on the YouTube page. Every week we do a pregame, so enjoy it. Let us know how you feel about it. And until Sunday, enjoy tonight's game. Have a good one, and namaste.
Stay safe